Omega-6 fatty acids are essential nutrients that play important roles in the body, but their health effects are somewhat complex. Here's an overview of the key points regarding omega-6 fatty acids. Omega-6 fatty acids offer many health benefits when part of a balanced diet. Heart health studies show a link between higher linoleic acid intake, the most common omega-6, and reduced rates of heart attacks and other heart diseases. Omega-6 fats can lower harmful LDL cholesterol and boost protective HDL cholesterol. They also help keep blood sugar in check by improving the body's sensitivity to insulin. Some research suggests that omega-6s may have anti-inflammatory effects when converted to certain compounds in the body. While omega-6 fatty acids are beneficial, there are some concerns. Some researchers have questioned whether high omega-6 intake can promote inflammation, but recent studies indicate this effect is minimal. There's debate about the ideal ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids in the diet. Some argue that the typical Western diet contains too much omega-6 relative to omega-3. Excessive intake of polyunsaturated fats, including omega-6, may increase the risk of oxidation and free radical damage in the body. Contrary to some popular beliefs, omega-6 fatty acids do not necessarily cause inflammation. Recent research indicates that omega-6 fatty acids, particularly linoleic acid, or LA, have anti-inflammatory effects. Controlled trials have shown that LA intake does not have pro-inflammatory effects. Higher intake of omega-6 fatty acids has been associated with reduced rates of heart attacks and other cardiovascular diseases, which are often linked to inflammation. The body's processing of omega-6 fatty acids is tightly regulated. While omega-6 can be converted to arachidonic acid, or AA, which has some pro-inflammatory effects, this conversion is strictly controlled. Increasing omega-6 intake does not necessarily lead to higher levels of AA in the body. AA itself can be converted into both pro-inflammatory and anti-inflammatory molecules, making its overall effect more complex than previously thought. Balance with omega-3. The ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids in the diet is important. A high omega-6 to omega-3 ratio may inhibit the anti-inflammatory effects of omega-3 fatty acids. The typical Western diet has a much higher ratio of omega-6 to omega-3, about 20:1, compared to historical norms, which were around 4:1 or less. Balancing omega-6 intake with increased omega-3 consumption may provide the best health benefits. Research findings. Studies have provided various insights. Increased intake of omega-6 fatty acids does not increase the concentrations of many inflammatory markers in healthy adults. Some epidemiological studies suggest that omega-6 fatty acids may actually be linked to reduced inflammation. The American Heart Association states that omega-6 fats are not only safe but beneficial for heart health and do not promote inflammation when consumed as part of a balanced diet. While omega-6 fatty acids were once thought to be primarily pro-inflammatory, current research suggests a more nuanced view. They appear to have both anti-inflammatory and pro-inflammatory potential, depending on various factors, including overall diet composition, the specific type of omega-6 fatty acid, and the individual's health status. The key seems to be maintaining a balance between omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids, rather than simply reducing omega-6 intake. Dietary assessment. Evaluate your cooking oil usage. If you frequently use oils high in omega-6, such as corn, soybean, sunflower, or safflower oil, you may be consuming excessive amounts. Check processed food intake. Many processed and packaged foods contain omega-6 rich vegetable oils. High consumption of these foods can lead to excessive omega-6 intake. Analyze your nut consumption. While nuts are healthy, some like peanuts and Brazil nuts are particularly high in omega-6. Excessive consumption may skew your omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. Physical indicators. While not definitive, some physical signs might suggest high omega-6 intake. Chronic inflammation can be associated with high omega-6 intake. Some studies link high omega-6 consumption to increased body fat. Excessive omega-6 might contribute to inflammatory skin conditions. A healthcare provider can order tests to measure your omega-6 to omega-3 ratio in red blood cells or plasma. Tests for C-reactive protein or CRP or other inflammatory markers might indicate if you have high levels of inflammation, which could be related to high omega-6 intake. To improve your omega-6 to omega-3 balance, reduce consumption of processed foods and vegetable oils high in omega-6. Increase intake of omega-3 rich foods like fatty fish, flax seeds, and walnuts. Consider using olive oil or avocado oil, which have lower omega-6 content. If needed, consult with a healthcare provider about omega-3 supplementation. Remember, both omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids are essential for health. The goal is to achieve a balance rather than completely eliminating omega-6 from your diet. Our Mature Hops Extract supplement can help with removing excessive fat gained from too much omega-6. See the link in the description.